They took his license, his reputation, and every surgical instrument he had ever touched, but they could not take his knowledge. Deep inside a forgotten forest where roads dissolved into mud and the nearest hospital sat 2 days away, a disgraced surgeon was preparing medicine using crushed roots, bitter bark, and smoke-blackened pots. And when a deadly sickness swept through the isolated village, he became the only thing standing between survival and mass burial. Dr. Adrian Vale was once one of the most respected surgeons in the country. He operated inside spotless hospitals beneath artificial lights and digital monitors worth millions. Patients traveled across entire states just to sit in his waiting room. But medicine was never just business to Adrian. It was personal. Years earlier, he exposed a powerful pharmaceutical network for knowingly distributing diluted medication to poor communities while charging premium prices to wealthy hospitals. He believed the truth would save lives. Instead, it destroyed his own. His medical license vanished within weeks. False accusations flooded the media. His colleagues disappeared overnight. And eventually, Adrian walked away from the city carrying nothing except a backpack filled with old medical books and the shattered remains of his career. Most people believed his story was over. But deep inside the forest mountains, an isolated village welcomed him when nobody else would. The villagers didn't care about newspaper headlines. They only cared that he treated fevers without asking for payment, that he stayed beside the sick long after midnight, and that he listened. For years, Adrian slowly learned the forgotten healing traditions of the elders. He studied roots that reduced inflammation, leaves that slowed infections, tree bark that lowered dangerous fevers. At first, he dismissed many of the remedies as superstition. But over time, he discovered something modern hospitals had forgotten. Ancient knowledge existed because generations had survived by testing nature against suffering. And sometimes, the forest remembered cures long before laboratories did. Then the sickness arrived. It began with coughs, then fevers, then breathing problems severe enough to leave entire families collapsed inside their homes. Within days, panic consumed the village. The nearest city hospital had already shut its gates due to overcrowding. Medicine shipments stopped arriving after landslides destroyed the mountain roads. The village became completely isolated. People started dying. And for the first time in years, even Adrian felt afraid. At night, he sat alone beside a flickering lantern reviewing symptoms inside old notebooks while rain hammered against his cabin roof. He knew conventional medicine could save many of them, but there was none left. No antibiotics, no oxygen tanks, no emergency helicopters, only the forest. So Adrian made a desperate decision. If modern medicine could not reach the village, then he would force nature itself to fight beside him. Before sunrise each morning, Adrian disappeared into the dense wilderness, carrying woven baskets and a rusted knife. He climbed steep cliffs, searching for fever-reducing herbs hidden beneath wet stone. He collected bark rich with natural antimicrobial compounds. He boiled roots known by tribal healers to ease lung inflammation. Hour after hour, he transformed the tiny village clinic into something between an ancient apothecary and an emergency hospital. The air filled with the scent of crushed leaves and medicinal smoke. Patients lined outside the wooden building wrapped in blankets, praying for relief. Some villagers doubted him. Others believed desperation had driven him insane. But slowly, people began recovering. A child whose fever had lasted 6 days finally opened her eyes. An elderly farmer struggling to breathe managed to stand again after drinking Adrian's bitter herbal mixture. Families that had prepared burial cloths quietly returned them to storage. Hope started spreading faster than fear, yet the crisis only grew worse. One stormy evening, a mother carried her unconscious son into Adrian's clinic. The boy's breathing was weak, his pulse unstable, and his skin burned with fever. Adrian immediately realized the infection had reached the lungs. Under normal circumstances, the child needed advanced hospital treatment immediately. But there was no hospital. No ambulance, no medicine, only him. For hours, Adrian worked through the night. He combined concentrated herbal extracts with steam treatments using medicinal leaves suspended over boiling water. He monitored the child's pulse manually while exhaustion blurred his vision. Outside, villagers gathered silently beneath the rain, waiting to hear whether the boy would survive until morning. And just before sunrise, the child finally took a deep, stable breath. The room fell silent. Then the mother began crying, not from grief, from relief. Word spread quickly across neighboring mountain regions. The exiled doctor who had disappeared into the forest was saving lives without modern medicine. Soon journalists arrived hoping to expose him as a fraud. Instead, they found recovery after recovery. Villagers who should have died were standing again. Children were laughing outside homes once marked for mourning. Even skeptical researchers began quietly studying Adrian's herbal formulas. And what shocked them most was that several compounds inside the plants showed genuine medicinal properties ignored by major pharmaceutical companies for decades. The same man once destroyed by the medical establishment was now forcing it to confront a dangerous truth. Healing did not belong exclusively to corporations, laboratories, or expensive hospitals. Sometimes survival grew quietly beneath the roots of forgotten forests. Months later, supply trucks finally returned to the mountains. Modern medicine flowed back into the village. The crisis slowly ended, but Adrian never returned to the city. He stayed inside the forest clinic, where lantern lights still glowed against wooden walls each night. Not because he hated modern science, but because he understood something deeper now. Medicine was never supposed to be about power or profit or prestige. It was supposed to be about preserving human life by any means possible, and sometimes the cure people overlook the most is the wisdom buried beneath their own feet.